Good morning and welcome everybody. Today I thought I'd share with you my very first ever clip using Photoshop. As part of my first Patreon, the lovely Harriet has been offered the chance to create a sticker sheet for her, and I thought I might take everybody along on the journey so I can show you how I go from turning some of my illustrations into a sticker sheet. Now, my Patreon's only been open for a month and I'm delighted to have 2 people have joined so far, which makes me very excited. I did do a little happy dance when I first had them join, but enough about that. Let's get into making the sticker sheet, shall we? So the first thing I've got on screen is my Photoshop file. I tend to create a lot of my stickers 6 inches going down the side by just over 4 inches. So I've got a template set up here. And to make things a little bit easier, I do really like to name all of my layers. So if you have a look over where the mouse is, over here on the right hand side, that's my banner. So if there's a preview square, I love to put a little snippet of one of the images in the corner just to make it a little bit easier, either for people wanting to buy my stickers or for myself when I'm sorting out what people have bought. I've got the littlebits.com banner, and then I've got a highlight. And this is a lovely feature because I can turn the saturation on if I wish to, and I can make the highlight different colors depending on the background really of the picture that I would like. So let's just take that back to 0. Okay, and then under here I've got LBC. That's where I will name the sticker sheet. At the moment it just says SSO1 for sticker sheet number 1. And I also tend to use a background, and that will make more sense when we go through. So the first thing I'm going to do is go into my very jam-packed computer. I've tried to simplify it, but so we're going to go into File, Open Up, and this is what I mean. I've got so much on my computer, it's probably time to sort it out in a little while. So we're going to go into my computer, and I have an iPad here, and we've got a little folder called Harriet Ragdoll Kitties. Harriet said she really likes ragdoll kitties, so it was a nice challenge for me. I'd never drawn them before. So I've got them individually. I can show you. So this is the first kitty, and we can open up the second one. That's my second little kitty. I really had loads of fun drawing these. And then I've got a little kitty laying down with the tail in the air. And then finally, ragdoll kitty little 4 with a butterfly on the nose. So it's great to have them. As you'll see, it's on a transparent background, but what I have done, if I close all of those, I need to change them, is I've actually put them all onto one layer, which makes it a little bit easier. So if we go back into that folder, and there you'll find all the kitties together. The reason I have them on separate layers is because when it comes time, if I find there's a fault or something missing in the background, I can open up the individual one. This one hasn't got any white behind it, and just fix it and alter it, which I'll probably end up doing in a little while, as you'll see. Let's do that now actually, so I can show you what I mean. So there's my first little kitty, and you can see there's no white background here. When I took a snip of these other ones to put them together, you'll see there is. So okay, so let's go with the first kitty. We might use this one. So all I did is I clicked on the rectangle. I'm just going to take that part and I'm going to edit, copy, merge. Now the difference between copy, if I was to have just the eyes on this layer here, I could copy just the eyes, but I've actually merged this little kitty together. Eventually I think we're going to name the kitties, but for now, if you don't mind, it'll be kitty 1, 2, 3 and 4. So we say ragdoll kitty number 1. Looks a little bit like a muffin to me actually. So edit, we're going to copy merged, and we're going to paste it into the sheet, and you'll see it's nice and big, which is quite handy initially, so that you can see if there's any flaws, which probably will come up when I pop it on the black background. Now the sizing is a little bit trickier because I need to decide how many stickers I'd like to fit across the page. If it was for planner stickers, a lot of people who have planner books like them quite small. The problem if you make it too small is you lose the detail, such as that. So for now I think we'll keep it probably just about that size. I can always go and change it later on. And I'm going to pop that one there. Now I can pull all 4 kitties in, but what I tend to like to do is just sort out row at a time. I'm going to have a row of these first kitties, and this is where the background comes into play, because if you pop it on a black background, go back to that first layer, there she's there. Okay, I'm going to add a stroke, so we're going to go to image, sorry, layer. We're going to go to layer style. We're going to add a stroke. Now at the moment over here that stroke is tiny. One of my favorite sizes when I'm doing sticker sheets, I will start with 20. You'll see it's a little bit different. If I think, oh, that looks a bit big, I might pop it at 16 instead. Now this is because it's come from Procreate. You'll see some little dots and things here, and that's very, very common. When you're using a Procreate program, there might be little specks and things, and this is why I do put it on a black background. Without the black background, I could just create the stickers and you think, oh, it looks lovely, but I can see the detail and what I need to fix. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to get an eraser, I'm going to make it a little bit smaller, and I'm very fortunate to have a graphics tablet and a pen. When I first started creating things, I used to use a mouse, and it took absolutely ages to create things with a mouse. So what I'm going to do is just take my little eraser, and we're just going to go around the edges. Feel free to speed this up, by the way, if you really don't want to see me rubbing out any of the things, but I am a bit of a perfectionist sometimes when it comes to my stickers, and I really do need to make sure that they look as clean and clear as they can. Often when the stickers print out, they are quite tiny, but I know in my mind if there's something that needed to be better. So you will see there's loads of methods of doing this, by the way. By all means, this is not the only way to create stickers. I know several people just create a stroke, they put them together, and then they send it to their Cricut machine, which is the machine I use for cutting. But this is, I think it's more fun this way, and I feel like I've had quite a lot of ownership on how the overall sticker is produced. So here we go, there's kitty number 1. Now at this stage I could just copy that and do a row of kitties, but I'm really fussy and I like this border to be nice and smooth. So what I'll do is where the little kitty is, now to make things easier I'm just going to name this layer here, whoops, I'm going to name this layer kitty 1 because it's much easier to come back to it later on. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put, with a little plus button, a layer underneath that first kitty, because what I would like to do is create a smoother outline. There are lots of methods. You could click on it and you could smooth it out, you could add lots of different ways, but this is the way I'm going to show you. Thanks, by the way, if you're still listening in. I'm very happy and delighted. So what I'm going to do is I've got a set brush that is there. I like to use 9 just through trial and error, and this is the part up here where the smoothing is, so you can have it at 0, but I tend to set it about 36. Smoothing means, let's show you without smoothing. So there's a line. Oh, of course I need to, whoops, make sure you change the brush to the white. There's 2 ways to change to white. You can click there, or you can do this little one down here. So if I just show you at the moment, I'm still on that layer. If it wasn't smooth, can you see it's quite jaggy? Okay, so hit undo. If I change the smoothing to about 36 through trial and error, 6, the actual line around the edges is a lot smoother. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make sure I'm still on that layer underneath. There's my kitty. I forget and I'm up on that layer there, but it's quite easy to fix. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit more just to make sure, and I'm just going to very faintly go around the outside, and hopefully you will see it looking a lot smoother. This has taken me probably about 1.5 years to perfect the way that I like to make my stickers. If you are interested in my stickers, I have an Etsy store. I will link that below for my little store called Little Bits Creations, which hopefully, all going well, this sticker sheet will be uploaded into this afternoon. I have promised the lovely Harriet that she will receive her sticker sheet first. Okay, so because this is my first recording, eventually I plan to add music and things, so for the moment, if you don't mind having my voice in the background, sorry about that. So there we go, so we have the first one. Now, depending on how intricate the design is, I may copy this layer. So duplicate. If you remember at the beginning there were some little dots and things that I shouldn't have been there, so for this occasion I'm actually going to copy it. I'm going to turn the stroke off, so if I ever want to come back, I've got the kitty just as well, he or she is. I haven't decided if it's a boy or a girl yet. So I'm just going to hide that, because if I ever want to come back to it, there he is. And the reason I do that is right now I'm going to take my kitty and the layer underneath. I'm holding down the shift key, and that just highlights both. I'm going to right click, and what I'm going to do is merge the layers. So there we have the little kitty all on her own, ready to go. Now that really is the most complicated part. We'll zoom back in again for you. I'm now going to decide how many of these I'd like to fit in the row. So when I cut my sticker sheets, the machine, when we cut it, if I go too close to the edge, it does make it a little bit trickier later on to do it. So I'm going to hold down Alt, and I'm going to drag kitty number 1 across. And this is why I often am I going to fit in 5? Will I stick with 4? I think actually, because of the kitty, and just to get an idea, I'm going to have 4 kitties on this, and you'll see there does need to be a gap. That's quite nice with the 4 kitties. But let's have a little go. If I don't want those, I'm just going to, again, hold down Shift, highlight those. I'm going to delete those because we don't need them. Yes, it always asks you extra questions. I think for this occasion, we might actually try and fit 5 in a row. Later on, I tend to prefer to make them into bigger sticker pack sheets. I'm going to hold down Control T, makes it smaller. There we go. And again, I'm sure there's a better way of doing this, but I quite enjoy it this way. We're going to see if we can make 5. Not to panic, it doesn't fit out. Again, I'm going to use that little shift method. This is why I do name them, otherwise you can take ages trying to find. Control T. I'm just going to make it a little bit thinner. And there you have your first row of kitties. When I print the sticker sheet out, it won't have a black background, but that's what it will look like. That's what the actual sheet will look like, and here is what the machine will cut. So that's our first row of kitties. So now what we're going to do is we're going to repeat this process, and we're going to bring in the other kitties. So we've decided I'm going to close that one. I could drag that one that we saved before in there, but for now it's absolutely fine. I'm just going to close that one. We don't need that one anymore. I'm going to open up in my folder kitty number 2, and we're going to repeat the whole process. So I could use the drag tool or go back to the rectangle like we did before. There's no real, doesn't matter which one we use. I could quite like to do this, it's a bit fun. So again, there's that whole layer. You will see that this particular kitty, I've duplicated it to make it a little bit darker. So if I was to just be on this layer here and do edit, copy, merged, it would just copy that one little layer there. So what we can do is we're going to copy all of it and pop that kitty in there. Again, it comes up quite big. Because I spent time working on the size of the first one, this is quite a bit bigger, and I think realistically probably only 4 of this one is going to fit in. Go back to the arrow. Let's just have a little play around, remembering there's going to be a border. So with the sizes, I'll go back to that first one. It's going to need to be a little bit small, just before I add the outline. Okay, we don't need these ones. Let's name that one Kitty 2. I'm sure you guessed that was coming. And let's get rid If you have any questions about this process or you'd like me to do some other videos, please just add a comment in the comment section below. So here's kitty number 2. We're going to pop a black background on again, and you'll see it's a little bit close. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go to layer style stroke. And it's really clever, this machine. I say it's machine, my computer's getting a little older now. Photoshop, it does often remember your settings that you had, which is lovely, instead of having to write them down on a piece of paper. When I wasn't very good at using Photoshop, not that I'm an expert by any means yet, I used to get a notepad and pen and write down all my sizings, but I've learned I don't need to do that again. So this one's a little bit cleaner than last time. We're still going to tidy up, so on that layer I'm going to take my eraser, okay, just to smooth it out a little bit. I really had a lot of fun, if I zoom in with this kitty, experimenting with fur strokes. I have used Procreate and several brushes to try this. I'm more than happy to do some videos on using Procreate in the future, but you'll see there are little shadows, which is meant that the outline is a little bit fuzzy, but I like keeping a few of these there. So now I'm quite happy with that. I'll do the same again. I'm going to copy that one, turn the stroke off and just hide it. If I ever want to come back to it, just remind you, there it is for next time. I'm going to turn that one off. Again, let's pop a layer underneath. We're going to use the brush. Again, it remembers we're on 9. We'll zoom in a little bit. This one looks fairly smooth already, but I'm going to just go around the outside edges. There we go. Apologies if you hear my computer in the background chugging away. It tends to do that when I'm using Photoshop at the moment, which in my sense is a warning sign saying graphics tablet time to possibly update, but it does the job for me now. Okay, the one thing I do find, there are other methods where you can make sure the outline is completely even and central, but because they are going to be fairly small stickers, they still work out quite cute. Okay, so we've got that one to go. Okay, I'm going to fit the screen. And then looking at him, he looks a little bit too big, so I'm just going to merge them anyway. I think a tiny bit smaller possibly, and I'm going to hold down Alt and drag along. So we've got 4 of this little kitty. I'll hold down Control T. I know there are other keys if you're not using normal desktop. Okay, so we have the second row of kitties, and we have 2 left. So, decision time. I think we'll do this little kitty, probably the one with a butterfly, and I've got him ready to go here, so let's take that one. Only because I'll show you. So edit, copy, merge. I don't like to have 2 laying down. I'm just fussy. There we go. Here's a little kitty. Size wise, we have got 4 kitties to go in, so if it turns out I've got some space at the bottom, I often tend to do a couple more extra, so let's make him about that size for now. Okay, so on the black background we're going to do layer style stroke. Yeah, that seemed okay. Brilliant. And we're going to name him. I bet you can guess what we're going to name him for now. Kitty number 3. I shall duplicate and turn the stroke off and keep that for another time. So there's kitty number 3, and we'll pop a layer underneath. Please do comment below if you wanted me to go over any of these features at any time a little bit slower. I know when I first started watching YouTube tutorials, I was, oh my gosh, how did they do that? And stopping and pausing. But because this is just the process of showing you how I make my sticker sheets, it could last for a long time if I stopped and went over every single part. So I'm just adding that outline with the brush. Part of the reason I use a black background is because I've created in Procreate on a transparent background. That means it's see-through and there isn't any colour. At this stage, when I've zoomed in, often can you see just there's a little black mark. So what I'm going to do while I'm doing the border is I'm just going to put a little bit of black border around there, but I can see there might be something missing, so I'm going to put back up to the kitty stage and I'm going to use the colour tool. Just click on that there. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller, and I'm just going to slightly, probably 2, add a little bit of colour, and can you see it just fixes there and there. If I didn't have the black background, it doesn't always stand out if there's a slight problem with the design or colouring that I'm missing. So making sure I'm back on that kitty layer. Sorry about that. Loud noise. So can you see just a few altercations? I'm going to go back onto that layer, back to what I was doing, just making sure. Now there's 2 ways of turning back to white. If you click this little arrow here and click it again, it takes it back to white. So I'm just going to make sure it's white. We're going to take that back to 9 because I did make it a little bit smaller. So it's quite nice to show you the process involved. You might also find it handy when you see some sticker sheets, and if you are wondering how they're made or what goes behind it. Again, there's a little bit of grey there, so I'm probably going to do the same. Use the eyedropper. I'll change the size. You can drag or you can just hit the number on the keyboard. So it's going to, now if I wanted to go closer, I just zoom in, checking I'm on that kitty layer. Sometimes if I'm a little bit worried I'm going to damage or destroy the image, I might create a layer above and then I can have a little play around. I'm not too worried about these ones here. They look absolutely fine. So we're going to go back, make sure that's back on white. Change it to 9. Thanks ever so much for coming along and joining me on this journey, by the way. Okay, so that looks okay there. It's going to make that a little bit rounder. The Cricut machine I use, if you're new to Cricut, no, it's not a bat and ball game, Cricut. It's a lovely machine they made in America, and I use it for cutting out my stickers, kiss cut stickers they call it, and it will cut out around this white edge. I will be uploading another video in the next few days showing you the whole process, but for this one, this is purely how I am creating the sticker sheet. I promise to share on Instagram, which I will link below as well, the final sticker sheet for you, but I'm conscious Harriet needs her copy first, so I will do that after I've posted hers out. Okay, so there we go, there's the kitty. I'm going to merge the layers together. If you forget to merge, it's not a problem, but you will notice, nearly deleted, we don't want that. You will notice that if I didn't merge it and I started to drag the kitty, it would leave that white border behind. Okay, in terms of size, I'm quite happy with that. If I make the 2 stickers too close, the Cricut machine just really doesn't like it, and the customer buying the stickers is going to struggle with getting the stickers off. So now we have a dilemma. Do I keep 4? I think I am going to keep 4 and just space them out a little bit more. You'll notice these are pink lines, really handy for if I wanted equal spacing between them as well. Oh, there's loads of methods of shortcuts, but I guess I like doing it the hard way sometimes. So there we have 3 kitties. This little square up here, I might do that now because I quite like this little kitty. So I'm just going to put Alt and there. And this is where having my other layer come in handy. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. And I'm going to pop this kitty above, so if you click there, there's my kitty. I'm just going to drag it above the banner. Now I've got it preview square, so I'm just going to pop it there. If I close that, that's a little group at the moment, it gets rid of all of them. So if I click on this little kitty, I think that's quite cute. I'm going to make it a tiny bit smaller. I could fit the whole kitty on the sheet, which would look lovely and adorable, but I think I'm going to make it a little bit bigger this time, just for a preview sticker. So what I want is I want the rest of this to disappear, so I'm just going to click there, and I'm going to hit control, and you will see that's a square at the moment. Now if I go back and hit select inverse, that means the outside edge is now going to, if I click back on the kitty, okay, there's a kitty there, I'm going to do edit, cut, and there you have just the kitty. Again, more than happy to go over our whole session on how to do that, but I find that quite cute. I tend to do that at the end often, but on the odd occasion I've forgotten to do it. While we're here, we might as well change the sticker sheet name. So sticker sheet, let's call them RK Ragdoll Kitties, sheet number 1, in case they ever come back and decide to make some more. And we're nearly there. So we've got that kitty, I might close that. And we're going to open up the file of the very last kitty. So it's kitty number 4. Oh, we done that one, sorry, apologies. Kitty number 3. I went out of order, didn't I? Not a problem. Here we go. So on a transparent background, if I zoom in, and this is where we'll get to use all of the skills that we've looked at so far, can you see on the white background, it's lovely. There are lots of little bits that aren't quite tidied up, so when I pull this one in, it's probably going to take a little bit more work, but it won't be a problem. As I put the stroke around it, it will fill in all of that white anyway. But for now, let's take it. We'll use the lasso, so I'm just going to draw around it. If you stop there, it will cut off the ear. So let's go around the whole lot. Copy merge. The reason it's called Bella Boo sticker sheet, by the way, is that was the very first one, the first sticker sheets I created, and I tend to always come back to the same template, so it's the same size. Okay, so we're going to paste it, and this is where you will see a lot of black at the moment. There we go, it's quite large. So we're going to shorten it. And size-wise, it would be lovely to fit probably 4 in again. Okay, and using the black, let's have a look. You will see a difference very soon. You're also going to see lots of little bits. I mean, I could tidy them up now because I can already see them. Just very faintly using the eraser and going around the edges. And I know from experience when I put the stroke on in a minute, I'm going to have loads and loads of those extra dots. Anyway, let's have a little play. So, and it's out of order, but that's okay. Kitty 4. Okay, so we're going to do layer style stroke, and now can you see the difference? If I turn that stroke off, the black that's been picked up, and it doesn't quite look right. Pop the white on, and that's how he needs to be. Oh, not too bad. I was expecting loads of random white dots everywhere. So now we're going to erase the edges. There we go. So as I said before, this is a method that I've just discovered myself. I didn't go to college and study Photoshop. I actually just had a love of drawing since I was little. And then everything that I'm doing I've learned. So there will be people who will come on and say that's not the right way to do it, but this is just what I've discovered and what I love doing. It gives me a little bit more control over the images as well. Okay, that's not too bad. So now that I'm happy with that one, I again will duplicate the layer. turn the stroke off, so if I ever want to come back to the kitty again. It did look quite nice, darker, so I'll be umming and ahhing, but if you notice, if it is darker, you can see too much of that one, so I'm just going to turn it off. Okay, let's go to a layer underneath, and we're going to go to the stroke. It's still on 9. I don't really need to zoom in too much on this one. Go a little bit quicker for you. Please feel free to speed up at any point. Yeah. I hope this has been a really useful tutorial to some people. I can think of one person who might be quite happy watching along, and that's my nan. I must say, my nan has promised to be one of the first people to watch my YouTube ventures, so thanks Nan if you're watching, and my sister Mel. Thanks Mel. Okay, so there we have that one there. I'm happy with that one. Okay, so we're going to hit shift and we're going to merge the layers. I really hope that some people have found this useful. Oh, it's going to duplicate it. And because of the height, I'm going to play things up a little bit. Ooh, daring, be a bit different. And what I'm going to do is just create a little bit of variation. So I'm going to, remember you saying I have some space at the bottom. I'm going to create those, and then what I'm going to do is repeat one of each of these stickers just to give a few more. So I'm going to hit Alt. And it doesn't really matter if you change the size. I am conscious when I do my border of 16, if I make it too small, Cricut machines, as lovely as they are, don't always cut right down the center, so I try not to make the stroke any smaller if I can help it than 14. Let's take one of these ones. And I can see myself going back later on and playing around with it still, but hopefully you're getting the idea. Often I fill these gaps with, say I'll take the little butterfly and put some other features in as well. So this one's going to be a little bit bigger, but it's nice to give the customer different size options. And in my mind I'm thinking, oh my goodness, they're different sizes, but it's absolutely fine. These stickers could be used for planner sheets, you could use them for stationery, little kitty lovers might like to use them as well. What I probably will take that butterfly at the moment. We're going to close that one. And here he is. So to do the butterfly, I'm going to draw around it, the nose, edit, copy, merge. Then I'm going to pop into here, and he'll come up big. And I'm just going to, I think the butterfly would look quite nice in here, just as an extra sticker option really. So if I zoom in, and this is where I'm actually going to swap, remember we had 2 color backgrounds, I'm going to just swap it to pink. And the reason I did that is you can see, oh by the way, let's have a look at the stickers, oh they look lovely, is that I can see better when it was black. You can't really see the outline, and again these are how hand drawn in Procreate. So what I'm going to do is just take my eraser, remove the nose and the kitty's face, and I'm going to go to layer, style, we're going to stroke. Because it's smaller, the stroke's going to look massive. Actually it's not too bad, but I might just make it 14 for the moment. I am very set in my ways. I do like to keep to similar techniques. I'm always trying to learn more every day actually. What we haven't done though, which we haven't named that butterfly. Okay, so let's pop a layer underneath. I will keep the 9, but you'll see it won't take so long. Here we go. Okay, so we're going to do merge layers. And as I said, I'll probably still play around with this later on before it's finalized. So just for now, I'm going to, what I didn't do is save that, but it's fine. It didn't take too long to do the butterflies. Pop one in there, and I'll probably, I could put another one over there, come back in. I know that I won't be happy with that gap there, so I'll probably put some paw prints or something else in. But for now, I wanted to say thank you very much for joining in and watching today. There is the completed sticker sheet, white background. That is what the customer would receive with the paw prints. And thank you so much for joining me today. I've got to save it, definitely. I'm going to save it as a Photoshop layer, not Bellaboo. Let's call it, sorry, didn't like that. My volume is up. So we'll call it Ragdoll Kitties. Oh dear, typing lesson needed. I'm going to save it to Photoshop. I've got a folder where I keep all my stickers. There's a whole heap of them there. We'll call it Ragdoll Kitties for now, and I will come back and turn it into a sticker sheet. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you found this really useful and helpful, and have a lovely day. Bye.